Your immune system is supposed to be your greatest ally, a standing army of cells and chemicals patrolling your body, hunting down viruses, bacteria, and invaders. Every fever you fought, every cut that's healed, every infection you've survived is thanks to this invisible defense. It is precise, ruthless, and loyal, until the day it isn't. Now imagine waking up one morning and realizing that your army has turned against you. No foreign threat, no virus, no bacteria, just your own tissues, blood, joints, skin, even organs, suddenly marked as the enemy. The very cells meant to protect you begin launching an all-out war on your body. At first, the signs are subtle. You feel fatigued, achy, maybe feverish. You dismiss it as stress or a passing illness. But inside, your defenses are misfiring. White blood cells swarm tissues that don't deserve attack. Antibodies rain down like arrows, striking not germs, but your own cells. What should be defense becomes destruction. As the hours pass, the war escalates. Joints swell as if crushed from within. Skin erupts in rashes. Organs inflame, struggling under fire from the body's own sentinels. Confusion and fear grow. You are under siege from within, betrayed by the very system designed to ensure your survival. This is not fantasy. This is the nightmare of autoimmunity, where the body mistakes itself for the enemy. And tonight, we'll trace the collapse that follows when the immune system goes rogue and survival hangs in the balance of a civil war inside your own flesh. The immune system is usually silent, invisible, but relentless. Billions of white blood cells patrol your bloodstream, tissues, and organs. They learn what belongs to you and what does not, then strike with precision when danger appears. For a lifetime, this army guards you without pause. But on this imagined night, something shifts. Antibodies are produced against the wrong target. Not a virus, not a bacteria, but a protein that belongs to your own body. A flaw in recognition has turned loyalty into betrayal. The markers that say self are ignored, and the order to attack is given. At first, the assault is quiet. A few immune cells slip into healthy tissue, releasing signals of war. Molecules of inflammation swell the area, summoning reinforcements. Blood vessels widen, temperature rises. What should have been a controlled defense is now spreading destruction across the battlefield of your body. By the first hours of this inner war, you feel it as fatigue. It is not ordinary tiredness, but a bone-deep heaviness, the weight of constant inflammation. Energy that should go toward movement, thought, or healing is consumed by the immune system's frenzy. You drink coffee, stretch, try to push through, but the war inside does not rest. Pain follows. Joints stiffen as white blood cells infiltrate cartilage and synovial fluid. Antibodies coat the surface of your tissues like targets painted for destruction. The immune system sees none of this as wrong. It only obeys its new corrupted orders. Destroy at all costs. By the second hour, the attack spreads further. White blood cells storm tissues with the same fury they once used against invading microbes. They release chemical weapons, cytokines, that burn through healthy cells indiscriminately. The heat builds, and with it, fever rises as if your body believes it is fighting infection. Your joints throb with sharp, aching pain. Knees swell, fingers stiffen, and movements that were effortless hours ago feel like dragging iron weights. It is not aging or exertion, it is inflammation, a fire smoldering in the very spaces that once allowed fluid motion. The immune army has confused protection with siege. By the third hour, skin becomes a battlefield. Redness spreads in patches, itching and burning like unseen flames beneath the surface. Cells in the skin are targeted as foreign, and the immune system shreds them without hesitation. Rashes erupt like banners of war, visible evidence of the betrayal unfolding beneath your flesh. Inside your bloodstream, antibodies swarm in numbers too great to ignore. Each one latches onto a healthy cell, flagging it for destruction. Macrophages and killer T cells arrive, tearing into tissues that did nothing to deserve the attack. Every heartbeat delivers more reinforcements, carrying destruction to every corner of the body. By the 4th hour, fatigue deepens into exhaustion. Muscles ache not from use, but from constant chemical assault. The mitochondria inside your cells, the very engines of energy, are disrupted by immune chaos. They struggle to produce ATP, leaving you weak, shaky, and drained. You collapse into a chair, unable to stand, your body fighting itself harder than you ever fought the world. The fever grows higher, sweat beads on your forehead, your body trying to cool itself, but the immune army continues to fan the flames. The thermostat is broken, controlled now by inflammatory signals instead of balance. You shiver and burn in alternating waves, wrapped in a cycle of chemical confusion. By the 5th hour, organs begin to feel the strain. The liver swells under attack, its cells peppered by immune fire. The kidneys, filtering rivers of blood, are assaulted as if they were invaders. The heart itself may become a target, antibodies clinging to proteins in the muscle, tricking the system into striking its own engine of survival. Confusion takes root in the mind. The brain is not immune from this war. Antibodies slip past its defenses, sparking inflammation that clouds thought and bends perception. You forget simple words, misplace memories, and stumble through sentences. To an outsider, it looks like fatigue. Inside, it is the first signal that even your identity is under siege. By the 6th hour, the war is everywhere. Skin, joints, organs, blood, and brain, all are battlefields. The immune system has lost its way, mistaking self for enemy, and now it cannot stop. Every soldier fights blindly, every chemical weapon spreads wider, every heartbeat delivers destruction. You are not sick with infection, you are sick with yourself. By the 7th hour, the fever has become relentless. Heat radiates from your skin, your pulse pounds in your temples, and sweat soaks through clothes. Yet no bacteria or virus is present. The heat is fueled entirely by your own immune signals spiraling out of control. The body believes it is fighting an invader, but the enemy is your reflection. The 8th hour brings sharper pain. Joints are no longer stiff. They are swollen and tender to every movement. Fingers refuse to bend without agony. Knees resist each attempt to straighten. Walking across a room feels like dragging yourself through broken glass. White blood cells crowd the joints, releasing enzymes that erode cartilage, as though dismantling the scaffolding of your own body. By the 9th hour, the attack spreads deeper. Blood vessels swell with inflammation, lining cells damaged and raw. The walls that should have stayed smooth and intact are now scarred and leaking. Tiny clots form, then dissolve, leaving chaos behind. Circulation falters. Oxygen delivery weakens. You feel faint, dizzy, as though the ground itself tilts under your feet. The 10th hour rattles the skin again. Rashes deepen into welts, and patches of tissue feel tender, as if burned by invisible flames. You scratch for relief, but the irritation only worsens. Every scratch is another signal, another invitation for the immune system to focus fire on innocent tissue. Your skin, meant to be a barrier, is turning into a canvas painted with war. By the 11th hour, your chest grows heavy. Antibodies target the lining around the lungs, inflaming the delicate sacs that normally exchange oxygen. Breaths come shallow, effortful, unsatisfying. You feel as though you are inhaling smoke, though the air is clear. Panic sharpens the edges of every gasp. The war has reached your lungs. The 12th hour brings confusion as your constant companion. Thoughts scatter like frightened birds, words slur, decisions falter, and simple tasks feel impossible. It is not fatigue, it is inflammation inside the brain, disrupting signals, drowning clarity in chemical static. The mind that once commanded the body is losing its voice, drowned out by the roar of its own soldiers. By the 13th hour, the storm inside you grows darker. The liver, swollen from repeated assault, begins to fail at its endless task of detoxification. Waste builds in the bloodstream. Ammonia, bilirubin, toxins that should have been cleared, each one poisoning you from within. Your skin takes on a sickly hue, a yellowish tint creeping into the whites of your eyes. The 14th hour presses deeper into the heart. Immune cells march across the muscle fibers, mistaking them for an enemy fortress. The tissue inflames, thickens, and weakens all at once. Each contraction becomes painful, erratic. The steady drumbeat that once kept you alive is now an unsteady rhythm that might falter without warning. By the 15th hour, the kidneys feel the full force of betrayal. Normally, filters. Now they are sieves clogged with inflammation. Proteins leak into urine. Blood pressure surges uncontrollably. Swelling spreads through the body like rising floodwaters. Ankles, hands, abdomen, all balloon with trapped fluid. You feel heavy, suffocated, drowning in yourself. The 16th hour pulls you further down. Fever burns high, muscles ache as if crushed by unseen weights, and exhaustion is absolute. You lie in bed, unable to rise, body trembling with each attempt. The immune army rages without purpose, stripping strength from every system. You are besieged, powerless, and collapsing inch by inch. By the 17th hour, delirium consumes the mind. You see things that are not there. Faces bending in shadows, voices echoing in silence. Your thoughts are fragmented, words half-formed, memories broken. The brain, inflamed and swollen, can no longer anchor you to reality. Identity itself begins to dissolve into confusion. The 18th hour is a chorus of organs failing in unison. The heart sputters, the lungs burn, the liver falters, the kidneys drown, and the brain flickers in delirium. Your immune system, the loyal guardian, has become the executioner. Each system drags the others down in a spiral that feels impossible to escape. By the 19th hour, the war inside your body leaves no sanctuary. Swelling presses into your chest and lungs, making every breath a shallow gasp. Oxygen slips away while carbon dioxide lingers, suffocating the cells that are already under siege. You clutch at your ribs, desperate for air, but the fire of inflammation burns hotter with every attempt. The 20th hour drags the heart to the edge of collapse. Its muscle fibers, scarred by immune attack, beat in chaotic rhythms. Some contractions are violent surges, others are barely whispers. Between beats, silence stretches too long, and each pause feels like the final one. Panic rises, but your body no longer has the strength to respond. By the 21st hour, the brain swells dangerously. Pressure builds inside the skull, neurons drowning in chemical floods. Thoughts are incoherent, fragmented, and scattered. You no longer recognize the room or the voices calling your name. To loved ones, you appear lost, staring blankly through them as if you are already gone. The 22nd hour drifts you toward coma. The fever burns relentlessly, muscles twitch weakly, and words have vanished. Breathing is erratic, sometimes shallow, sometimes rapid, sometimes absent for terrifying seconds. The immune system rages on, but the body is surrendering. Each system buckles under the weight of constant attack. By the 23rd hour, consciousness collapses completely. You lie motionless, chest rising only in weak, shallow patterns. Organs are swollen, scarred, and failing. The immune system continues to fight an enemy that never existed, its blind loyalty having transformed into betrayal. Machines could hold the line, but without them, your body is unraveling. The 24th hour arrives in silence. The heart falters, then flatlines. Breathing ceases, the lungs drown, and the brain grows still. What began as protection has ended as destruction. Your immune system, once your greatest ally, has mistaken you for the enemy, and in a single day the war has been lost.